Hey, Jeff here from EZGO Battery San Diego. Today we're going to show you how to safely remove 4 12-volt lead-acid batteries from a 48-volt EZGO RXV, and we're going to replace 4 new 12-volt lead-acid batteries. And we're going to show you the procedure to safely disable the cart, to disconnect the cable so that you're not worried about getting hurt. And yeah, first thing you want to do is make sure that the cart is not an incline, it's parked on a flat area. It does have electronic motor brake, so it should not be able to push back and forth. So the first thing you want to do is go find the run tow switch. Let's flip that. I had it in tow, so it'll typically be on run, so we'll flip that to tow. That's going to isolate the batteries. The next procedure you want to do, of course, is wear eye protection, and you want to have the following tools to get this together and get ready for this. I'm going to use a non-metallic, I guess, nylon ratchet wrench. We're going to use a 9/16 deep socket. It has to be deep socket to get to these hold down nuts here that are quite deep. You may find that these nuts here may actually be a 1/2 inch socket. These particular ones are 9/16. So you're going to need that. We're also going to need a T-45, and this is going to release the strap right here that's holding down. There's a nut over there. We're going to remove that, and the strap's going to get out of the way. I'm going to use some carabiners. What I like to do is I like to take the positive off first. The rule is negative. Where am I at here? The rule is negative off first, and then negative goes back on last. Okay, so rewind that if you forgot. So negative goes off first, and then negative goes back on last. This is the last negative in the series of the connections. I'm going to take a carabiner. I'm going to gather them all together. I'm going to take a positive carabiner. I'm going to gather all the positive together. I don't want to leave any of these cables off. So we have 48 volts with all these batteries wired together. They go pos neg, and they finalize where the energy leaves the batteries over here, the negative. What I like to do is take out the series cables, so I'm not messing around with 48 volts down here. By disconnecting one of these series cables, or all the series cables, I've actually de-energized the pack. So let me grab a 9/16 socket, and I'm going to go ahead, and plus we have to take these cables off to get the hold down hardware off anyway, because they're blocking it. So let's grab this. So we're going to move this cable, and not a big deal here, just go safely. I have a little container here, I just keep all my nuts. And so I'm going to take this off. Now I just broke the series, so now this reaction, the negative over here is not getting 48 volts because I just disconnected the series connection right here. This battery has a lot of corrosion. Person didn't take care of it too much. We're going to use some no-ox grease to keep the corrosion down. So anyway, what you want to do is just start removing these interconnector cables, and then let's move on to how to get the hold down hardware off. Okay, looking down here, what I'm going after is this acorn looking nut here that uses a T-45 to remove. As you can see, this golf cart has, if you're wondering what this is what's called a 48 to 12 volt DC converter. This steps down the 48 volts from the battery pack and outputs 12 volts to run your headlights or stereo. So I've already cheated. I've already loosened this nut up before I start shooting. It can be seized as well. We're going to grease that as well before we reinstall it. So we're just going to lefty loosey righty tighty, get this guy out of here, and then if it's stripped, you could use vice grips if you had to get it worked out of there. Hopefully someone didn't strip it before you. I've seen them stripped. And I'm going to push down on this guy just to take the pressure off of it. And let's see here. Let's see. Get this worked out. You don't want this to hit you in the face. So yep, she's in there pretty good. And yes, you can use cordless drills for this job if you want, no problem. I'm not sure why I'm not. Okay. Okay, this nut's, it's a long guy. And again, we're gonna grease this one up before we stick it back in there. Okay, so now I've got the strap off. The strap's gonna come up in the air. I'm just gonna push it out of the way. Just push it out of the way, there you go. So now what you can see is, move the phone, you can see that I've got this U-shaped hold down bracket here. Now these rods that are holding the batteries together, when you take this bracket off, they're just probably going to fall on the ground. That's normal. Don't worry about that. Actually, these aren't, because there's so much corrosion hanging on to them. Gotta love lead acid, huh? So that comes off, and now you can see the corrosion right here. Let me get in there on the seat. You can see all the corrosion stuck in there. Nice. So now we're going to grab a lifting strap and start getting these batteries removed. These batteries weigh about 80 pounds each. They are going to be very heavy. These batteries are not wet on top, and I don't assume they're going to be wet on the bottom. The reason why I'm telling you this, because if you're doing your job on concrete, your nice concrete, do not put these wet batteries on your concrete, otherwise it will stain your deck. So what you want to do is put these on a towel or move them off to the dirt. All right, so not to I usually just go after the middle guy here, and we'll just start grabbing. All right, and then just start moving, and I'm taking these two out. This back one's coming out last. And just like that, we washed out the tub, and it's nice and clean, debris free, looks good. It doesn't have to be dry for you to replace the batteries, because it doesn't matter too much. Okay, so now battery number 3 has been installed, and if you can look towards the Ronto switch, we got positive, then we have negative. So battery number 3, negative facing the driving, and then we've got the hold down bracket taped up and ready to go for battery number 4. Okay, all 4 batteries are in. Now we're going to take the U-shaped bracket, and we're going to put the nose or the front piece in first to get over the front studs, delicately, not breaking our tape, because we don't want those to fall in. Yep, so it lays over that, and then we want to capture that rear piece. Your battery should be laying flat in the tray, and then this guy lays flat just like that. And now we're going to pull the strap back across, and we're going to capture it with a washer and a nut. Okay, so I just want to show you, I've got the back on with a washer. This one's back on, just finger tight with the washer. And then I've got this one left to do. I'm going to throw a nut on there. It has a washer. And then I'm going to do an even tight on all of these. If you did this successfully without getting the hold down hardware left on the ground, you're doing pretty good. Okay, so I got this last nut to put in, the T45. I do it finger tight as much as I can. I got some no-ox grease on there. And now we're just going to get this guy. I don't actually put this together really tight. I just get it in there so it's not even tight, because it likes to seize up. Okay, so we're about ready to we got our hold down hardware on. That has to go on before you put the cables on. I've cleaned up all my cables, and you can't tell, but I've cleaned all the corrosion off. I've cut back if there's any kind of insulation that covers this lug. I took a knife and cut it off. We want a full contact with this lug to the battery terminal. And yeah, so now everything goes, so this is the first positive, then this negative goes to this positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, final negative, out. Okay, we're going to flip the switch into tow. We're going to go up to the key. We're going to listen for a reverse sound, buzzer. That's a good sign. Push on the gas pedal. Solenoid kicked in. Neutral.